But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Let me tell you about my great God. Hey guys, Pastor Tim here. Hope you guys are ready to get your day started off in God's Word. We are on Genesis chapter 13. We're picking up once again, chapter 39, all right, 13 times 3. And we're picking up again with Joseph, all right? He's been sold into slavery by his loving brothers, and now he is being bought and sold into the house of Potiphar, all right? And if you're very familiar with the story of Joseph, you know who Potiphar is. He's a guy of high authority and such, but you also probably know Potiphar's wife. But before we get to her, we're going to just talk about Joseph a little bit. It shows in this chapter that he finds grace in the eyes of his new master, and it's obvious that the Lord is with Joseph. All right, and Potiphar can see that, and we see through everything that Joseph does. He's honest. All right, he's doing things honestly. He's doing things correctly. He's doing things to the best of his ability because he builds up this reputation and this testimony in Potiphar's household to the point that Potiphar promotes him to pretty much be in charge of his household. He doesn't know about anything that he has or that is within his house, except for the food he eats. He entrusts all the affairs of the daily functioning of the household unto Joseph alone. It's almost as if it's Joseph's house, all right, or like he's second in command, which is a theme we're going to see a lot with Joseph throughout his whole trials and testing in Egypt. And this is very much God testing Joseph during these times as a slave, and also as we come to see with the temptation of Potiphar's wife. All right, we see Potiphar's wife, Joseph catches her eye, and she very much wants to commit sin with Joseph, and she tries to get him to do that, to be unfaithful unto Potiphar, her husband. And she asks Joseph to lie with her, but Joseph each and every time refuses to do so. He goes in the other direction, and he tells her straight up, hey, I cannot do this. Your husband has entrusted everything in his household unto me. How can I do this great sin and sin against your husband? Technically, no, that's not what Joseph said. He said, how can I do this great sin and sin against God? He knows it's a sin against Potiphar. He knows it's something wrong to do against Potiphar, but much more so than that, he sees it first and foremost as a sin in the eyes of God. He doesn't care about what other people think of him. He doesn't care about, I'm not saying he doesn't care about people's feelings, but his utmost priority, his utmost concern is he doing what is right in the eyes of God? And if he did that with Potiphar's wife, he would not be doing that which is right in the eyes of God. How can I sin against God? I hope that's very much the attitude you as a Christian has as well. No matter what it is that you may be faced with, what decision it is that you may be faced with, are you going to do that which is, are you going to base your decisions simply on how it affects people around you, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that you should neglect that, but are you going to have your first priority be, you know what I'm about to do, is that something that pleases God? Is it sin in the eyes of God, or is it something that glorifies God? All right, and what follows after that, God will bless. And he says, how can I do this great sin and sin against God? Well, of course, she doesn't like this. She continues on. She's very consistent in her temptings, and sometimes that's how it is in life as well. We're not just tempted once. Satan, the devil, the world, they don't stop just once. They bombard us today with certain temptations in this world. So we always have to be on guard. We always have to be ever diligent to guard our hearts. And then one day she catches Joseph when he's alone in the house. There's nobody else around, and Joseph, you know what? He just gets his running shoes on and he runs away. But in the process, I don't know if it was torn, but one of his garments, whether it was his outer coat or whatever it may be, was left in the clutches of Potiphar's wife. And seeing that she had this garment in her hand, she decides, you know what, since he keeps refusing me, I'm just going to get rid of him. And she does this great lie. She tells everyone that, this Hebrew that we brought into the house has tried to commit this great act of sin against us and mock my husband. And she of course is lying. All right, and Potiphar himself is put into this position where he has to now throw his best servant he's ever had, this man that has brought great prosperity and blessing unto his household. Now he has to put him into prison. And once again, instead of moping about that, instead of being bitter about it, he allows himself to get better, and he continues to seek after God, and he continues to seek to do that which is right, and he continues to try to live purely and honestly in all that he does, to the point where once again he's put into second in command, even in the prison. Much the same way in Potiphar's house, everything is put underneath his control. He is overseeing everything that is happening in the prison, and nothing is led astray. Nothing is going off the hinges or anything like that, because Joseph is in charge. So we see very much the character of Joseph in this chapter. All right, we see the way he lived, and we see the testimony he had, and how that not only affected him, but also affected the people around him as well. That's all I got for today's chapter, guys. I hope you're getting some great stuff out of it. Hope you're writing these things down. Tell somebody about your great God. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.